Did they save the best for last? Our last game of the divisional round is going to be the Baltimore Ravens heading on the road to the Buffalo Bills. Matt Brown, Mo Nuara, brought to you here by thelines.com. We are sitting flip favorite situation, but a 1-point move through zero doesn't really do all that much. But again, it was started out Buffalo -1, 1.5. Now we're seeing Baltimore -1, 1.5. 51.5 is our total here in this one. As far as the weather goes here, we are again absolutely frigid temperatures outside in Buffalo. It is going to be ridiculously cold. It is the feels like temperature is certainly going to be down close to zero. I'm sure you're going to hear all of that with the way that things go. Mo, for me, typically we worry about winds. Typically we worry about like super heavy precipitation and all of that, though. Whenever temperatures get this low, we have seen at least a little bit of a correlation in lower scoring games just because it is the ball's hard. You're like a little bit more hesitant to kick, field goals and things and do different stuff like that. And so we have at least seen scoring get impacted just a little bit here in this one. But what do you think? I mean, I can't wait to watch this game. I'm sure you can't either. But what do you think from a handicapping perspective?
I fired the under in this one. Temperature is a big reason why. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's going to be really cold, like single-digit temps. Lamar Jackson, I don't know if I don't have anything to back myself up on this. I just feel like he hates playing in the cold based on the fact that he's usually dressed in a wetsuit under his body armor out there. So I think there is going to be a lot of running by both teams. I think both teams want to run the ball. You have a Bills team that has pounded the rock all year. You have a Ravens team that, I mean, Derrick Henry ran for 199 yards last time these two teams played. Like, they just lost their season last year, partially because for some ridiculous reason, Todd Monken decided to attack Kansas City through the air. And then once they got down, then they had to keep throwing the ball, and it was just a disaster. So if he's learned anything at all from that, I'm guessing he's going to come out and pound the rock against the team he ran for 250 yards on last time. So I think we're going to see some longer drives by both teams. Obviously, I'm terrified to bet an under with these two quarterbacks, but it's still 51.5. Like, that's a big number. So hesitantly, I did take under 51.5 here.
So I know we were sitting here early on in the season and we were like, okay, here's this Ravens defense, can't run against them. So you just pass and like you do all of that. And then you go from like week 10 and they are actually the number 1 defense in the NFL in drop back EPA allowed, And so you're like, wait a minute. Like what? This team is like, now they're good against the pass. They figured something out over the course of the season. And so I'm with you. Like, I think that there's just going to be, given the weather conditions, given everything that goes on with this, given the fact that the Ravens have become a pretty good team against the pass and there isn't really a true number. I know it hasn't really mattered for Josh Allen on this season, but he didn't have a true number 1, doesn't really have like that very first option. I think his go-to option is going to be him and James Cook, and running the ball and taking carries. And so Josh Allen's carry number is sitting at 8.5. I'm being dead serious when I say this. Like, I would be floored if Josh Allen doesn't have double-digit carries in this game. I mean, I would literally be absolutely floored if he doesn't get double-digit carries. There's always the designed runs that happen anyway. He is not afraid to take off. If you get inside the 2-yard line, he calls his own number 2 as it is, so you get those kind of carries in all of this. 8.5 to me, given this team that he's up against, given the scenario in the playoffs that he's up against here and these weather conditions, like I said, I would be blown away if he does not have double-digit carries in this game.
Yeah, we know quarterbacks run the ball more in the playoffs because they don't have to worry about preserving their bodies for the 17-game regular season grind. That is a thing. So I could absolutely see that. And the carries are probably going to work. Same as they're probably going to work on the Ravens end.
Right.
But again, running the ball is not how you get past a 51.5 total, even if the runs are working. That means the clock will be moving. That means less 20-plus yard gains. And then when you look at both of these two teams, Neither one of them are like among the slowest teams in the league, but they're both below the median in pace. So two teams that don't play very fast, two teams that like to run the ball. 51.5 just seems really high to me.
There's a pretty high correlation, too, if you go and you look in the close games that they played this year and Josh Allen rush attempts, and you go and you see 11 rush attempts against Detroit in the 48-42 game, 10 rush attempts against the Rams in the 42-44 game, 12 rush attempts against Kansas City in that 30-21 game. Like you see in the closer games that, again, this thing is lined at 1. In the closer games, Josh Allen just runs more. He tries to take it into his own hands. And so, again, for me, hell, he ran 8 times last week in a 31-7 game. It's in, because you said it's the playoffs. It's just a different animal with all of this. And so I love that one a ton. One of the first things I threw into the account, I think that correlates very well also with the under, like you said, 51.5. Could this game, is there a world that exists that this thing is a shootout? I guess. All of the ways that I kind of go in and say, like, it doesn't get there for me.
Feels like it should be a chess match, right?
Yeah.
When you just look at the way, it's such a big game for both sides too. It's a legacy game for both of these quarterbacks. It's two guys who need big wins, man. Patrick Mahomes can lose to either one of these guys next week, and it's not a big deal. He has multiple Super Bowls already. These guys need these W's, and one of them is going down in round 2, and that makes for some pretty, it's gripping stuff for us, but it's nervous stuff for them, I think. So I think nobody's going to want to make a big mistake. You have two quarterbacks who have been extremely turnover averse this year. Lamar Jackson was number 1 in PFF's turnover-worthy play, lowest percent. Josh Allen obviously has cleaned up a lot of his turnover issues, so most likely we're not going to be looking at a lot of short fields. So even if the offenses are having success, I think it's going to be longer drives.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's under for me, tons of rushing, tons of things like that. And listen, it might not be the most exciting game from a scoreboard perspective, but I think, like you said, the chess match is going to be fascinating to see what these dudes do against each other. Cannot wait to watch this one. Guys, again, reminder, everything we do, absolutely free. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know how you are going to play this game. We got a Discord, upper right-hand corner at thelions.com, where you can go in and chat with everybody playing this game as well. For Mo, I am Matt. Good luck on all your Ravens and Bills bets.